Good morning, everyone. Welcome to our second recording. Today we're going to start on the periodic table. We have a number of items that we're going to go through over the next couple days as we explore the periodic table. The project sheet in front of you will highlight all the stuff that you're going to be going through. The first task is obviously coloring the periodic table. And you'll see I put little boxes next to each task so that you can check them off as you complete them. Today, using a website and using this video, you're going to go through the periodic table, and this is going to be yours. You're going to have access to this in your folder whenever you need it. You're going to color it so that you can identify the elements by some of their properties. So nonmetals will be yellow, metalloids green, and metals blue. Then you'll create a key for each color you use. So then you'll just write down nonmetals equals yellow, and so on. On the back, you're going to create a chart with 3 properties of nonmetals, metalloids, and metals. And you'll do that using a website that I'll show you. And then you're going to label each group and period. Tomorrow, we're going to start a project where you're going to identify the first 18 elements on the periodic table. You'll do this in a group. And you'll create a little tile like we did yesterday in our notebooks. Identify the protons, neutrons, electrons, a Bohr model, and a Lewis structure for each. So, and then, as we go on, you're going to create your own periodic table, this mini table. You'll see that the first 2 elements are kind of separated out. They create little horns almost on the periodic table, and then it goes down to the second period. And these are all separated by their atomic number, which we will go through a little bit more. At the end of that project, which is going to be on Thursday at this point, you'll have like an exit ticket sheet just to make sure that you're getting all the information that is being fed to you at this point. So that's what your next couple days look like. This is the periodic table that you should have in front of you at this point. So we'll start by just talking about groups and periods. There's a lot of different ways that the periodic table is separated. There was a man named Dmitry Mendeleev. He's the first person that put the periodic table together like this. As scientists were discovering different elements, they were trying to figure out how to organize it so that it was easy to read. And there's a famous story that he was on a train and just kind of shifting through all of the known elements at that time, trying to figure out how to organize them, and he came up with the first periodic table. There were probably about 30 elements discovered at that point, unlike the 114 and more that we have now. And he was able to predict some of the elements that weren't even discovered yet because he started to organize them by the atomic number or by the protons in their nucleus. So he knew that, for example, if scandium wasn't developed yet or wasn't discovered yet, he knew that there was going to be an element with 21 protons in its nucleus. So he made holes for them to be filled in. So this was a genius way to organize all of the elements, the known and unknown elements. So the first thing I want you to do on your periodic table is to write that groups are equal to columns, and let me make this a little bigger, and that periods are rows. So here we've got our columns, and so this would be group 1, group 2, group 3, and so on. And then our periods are 1, 2, 3, and down. So this is how we would identify where an element sits on the periodic table. You've got group 1, period 2, and so on. So just make sure you are labeling 1, 2, 3, 4 all the way across for your groups, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 for your periods. Okay, so go ahead and do that on your periodic table. Make sure that in your key you are identifying that groups equal columns and periods equal rows. After you're done with that, I am going to have a link in the video to take you to this website. This is an interactive website. You're actually going to be using this for another project, an, um, an element project that we'll be doing. In the element project, you'll be able to pick any of these elements, and you can see if you click on the element, it shows you all the information about it through Wikipedia. For right now, we're going to be using this website to color our periodic table. You can see that all the nonmetals, if I click or just hover over nonmetals, all of the nonmetals are highlighted here. And if you look in the upper left-hand corner, hydrogen is a nonmetal, okay? But all of the rest of the nonmetals are over to the right of the periodic table. So according to your project, you are going to be coloring your nonmetals yellow. So you'll hover over nonmetals, figure out where that stops, and color them all yellow. Metalloids are right next to the metals. Those are all the green ones there. Boron, silicon. There's not very many. You're going to be highlighting those in green. And then your metals, which is all of the rest of the periodic table, it's most of the periodic table, those are going to be colored in blue. So you can go ahead and do that. I will have a link in this video. If you have any questions, I will be wandering around today. So get coloring and make sure you're labeling and have fun.